When did you start telling yourself that blurry vision is just what happens when you get older? Because that's the lie almost everyone over 60 has swallowed. You wake up, and your eyes feel dry and gritty, like there's sand under your lids. You try to read the menu hanging on the wall at a restaurant, and the whole thing turns into a smear. You drive at night, and every set of oncoming headlights explodes into a blinding starburst. And your hands tighten on the wheel, because honestly, it's getting a little scary out there. And what does everyone tell you? That's just age. Get used to it. No, stop right there. That's wrong, and I'm tired of people accepting it. The American Optometric Association doesn't dance around this. Once you cross 60, your eyes get fragile fast. Dry eye, cataracts, macular degeneration, sudden blurriness in one eye out of nowhere. All of it becomes far more likely. And the National Eye Institute has flat out said that vision loss in this country is climbing faster than it ever has on record. Let that sink in. Not slowing down. Speeding up. Here's the part nobody tells you, and it's the part that should make you sit up. A huge chunk of the damage doesn't happen while you're driving or reading. It happens while you're asleep. You think your body is resting and patching itself up overnight. But your retina, that thin layer of light-sensitive tissue at the back of your eye, doesn't always get the oxygen and nutrients it's begging for. And those tiny photoreceptor cells, the ones that let you see anything at all, start breaking down. Quietly. No alarm. No warning. By the time you actually notice, a lot of it is already gone. So I hear the same question almost every week. Why is my vision getting worse? And is there anything I can actually do about it that doesn't involve drowning in prescriptions or going under a laser? Here's the blunt answer. Most of what they sell you, the drops, the thicker glasses, the surgeries, chases the symptom and ignores the cause. That's not an accident. That's the business model. The vision care industry pulls in billions every year precisely because older folks keep struggling and keep coming back. A clinical patient who stays a little blurry is a customer for life. A study out of JAMA Ophthalmology in 2023 confirmed what researchers had been muttering about for years. The retinal damage that comes with age usually starts deep and silent oxidative stress, low-grade inflammation grinding away in the background. And those processes are most aggressive at night, exactly when your eyes are supposed to be healing instead of getting hammered. But here's where it turns around, and this is the whole reason I'm talking to you. Newer research has found something genuinely worth getting excited about. Certain ordinary fruits, stuff you can buy at any grocery store, carry natural compounds your eyes are practically starving for while you sleep. These nutrients can help damaged photoreceptors regenerate, push more blood flow into the retina, and slow down macular degeneration, which is still the #1 reason people over 60 lose their central vision. Translation: you may be able to support clearer vision naturally, safely, overnight, without another orange pill bottle, and without another surgeon's waiting room. And the one that catches everybody off guard? The #1 fruit on this list is probably sitting in your kitchen right now. It contains a natural enzyme that research has tied to interfering with one of the nastiest processes behind cloudy lenses and early cataracts. We'll get there. My name is Dr. Arthur Clark. I've spent years working with older adults who are dead serious about protecting their eyesight using evidence-informed natural strategies alongside regular medical care. Today, I'm walking you through 7 fruits that research suggests can support overnight eye repair. And, this part matters, exactly how to eat them so they actually work. Before we dive in, tell me where you're watching from. Drop your city or your country in the comments. I mean it. We're building a real community here, full of people who flat out refuse to treat vision loss as some inevitable sentence. One more thing, and it's not boilerplate. Everything here is educational. It is not a replacement for a real medical opinion. If your vision is changing, if things are going blurry, if anything feels off with your eyes, go see a licensed eye doctor before you change your diet, your supplements, or anything else. Your eyes don't grow back. Don't gamble with them. All right, counting down from 7. Number 7. Kiwi. Let's start with kiwi. Small, a little fuzzy, kind of forgettable. You've walked past it 1,000 times at the store without a second thought. But for aging eyes, this little thing is no joke, and the research backs that up. Here's why it matters. As the years pile up, your retina, the part that grabs incoming light and turns it into signals your brain can read, gets more and more vulnerable. Oxidative stress builds, cells wear thin, And then one day, you're squinting at road signs, or headlights are throwing starbursts at you on the highway, or you wake up and your vision takes a full hour to clear up. That's not just getting older, that's cellular damage. And the good news is, it's something you can push back against. Kiwi is loaded with two nutrients eye researchers keep circling back to: lutein and zeaxanthin. Picture them as built-in filters that live inside the layers of your retina. They soak up harmful blue light and stand guard with antioxidant protection while your eyes do their overnight repair work. On top of that, kiwi carries a mix of antioxidants and a small dose of serotonin, which helps you sleep deeper. And deep sleep is when your eyes do their heaviest repair. Those two things, the nutrients and the sleep, work together far more than people realize. The research here is solid. A study in the Journal of Nutrition and Healthy Aging found that older adults who ate 2 golden kiwis a day saw measurable gains in visual sharpness, plus less morning dryness and redness. 2 pieces of fruit. Real, measurable results. So how do you use it? Keep it dead simple. Eat 2 golden kiwis, golden, not green, about an hour before bed. Golden ones pack more lutein, carry less acid, and sit gentler on your stomach at night, which matters when you're trying to actually sleep. And here's a detail almost everyone botches. Don't scoop right down to the skin and stop short. That thin layer of flesh just under the peel is where the caffeic acid concentrates, a strong antioxidant. Just spoon the fruit out and get that inner edge too. Don't waste it. Something as plain as a kiwi. Better night vision, less morning dryness, no pill, no procedure. Let me add one more thing the original list skips. Kiwi is also high in vitamin C. And your eye's lens holds one of the highest concentrations of vitamin C anywhere in your body. When those levels drop, cataract risk climbs. So you're not just feeding the retina, you're supporting the lens too. 2 birds. And here's something else worth knowing. Kiwi is also rich in vitamin K and folate, and there's a quiet connection between those nutrients and the health of the blood vessels behind your eye. The retina is one of the most blood vessel-dense tissues in your entire body. It's hungry. It demands a constant supply of oxygen-rich blood, and when those vessels start to weaken or leak, which is exactly what happens in conditions like diabetic retinopathy, your vision pays the price. The folate and the antioxidants in kiwi support those vessel walls, helping them stay strong and intact. Think of it as maintenance on the plumbing that keeps your eyes alive. Nobody talks about the plumbing until it bursts. Don't wait for that. One last thing on kiwi, then we move on. The fiber content here is high, and that matters more than you'd think for your eyes. Fiber slows down how fast sugar hits your bloodstream after you eat. And as you'll hear when we get to the number 1 fruit, blood sugar spikes are one of the silent destroyers of eye tissue. So eating kiwi instead of, say, a cookie before bed isn't just swapping one snack for a better one. It's actively protecting your eyes from a sugar spike at the worst possible time of day. Small choices, stacked up over years, are what separate the people who keep their vision from the people who lose it. Number 6. Watermelon. Number 6 is one you already love. Watermelon. And if you've ever wondered why you're still blurry a full hour after you wake up, lean in for this one. As you age, your eyes dry out faster, and blood flow to the retina slows down. That sluggish circulation is a big reason for that maddening morning fog that sometimes takes hours to lift, if it lifts at all. Watermelon is over 90% water, so yeah, hydration is the obvious win. But the research points somewhere deeper. Watermelon is one of the richest food sources of lycopene, a powerful carotenoid antioxidant. Observational studies have tied lycopene to less oxidative damage in retinal cells and possible protection against age-related problems like cataracts and macular degeneration. Studies also show that people who eat watermelon regularly tend to carry higher blood levels of lutein and zeaxanthin, those same heavy-hitter vision nutrients we just covered with kiwi. And there's research showing certain compounds in watermelon support nitric oxide production and improve blood flow to your extremities, which could mean better oxygen and nutrient delivery to the retina overnight, exactly when your eyes need it most. How do you use it? 1 to 2 cups of chilled seedless watermelon about 30 minutes before bed. Skip the salt. Adding sodium can bump up the pressure inside your eye, and the Glaucoma Research Foundation flags elevated intraocular pressure as a serious, potentially permanent risk factor for vision loss. Don't do it. Pro tip, don't toss the rind. That pale section near the skin is loaded with citrulline, an amino acid that supports healthy blood vessel function and may feed your eyes overnight. Blend it into a smoothie, or pickle it lightly if you're feeling adventurous. I'll add a point the original glossed over. Watermelon's high water content also helps your tear film. Dry eye isn't only about your eyes producing less moisture, it's about your whole body being slightly dehydrated, which a lot of older adults are without realizing it. A hydrated body makes better tears, and better tears mean less of that scratchy sandpaper feeling in the morning. And here's another angle nobody mentions. Watermelon contains a small but real amount of vitamin A in the form of beta-carotene. And vitamin A is the single most fundamental nutrient for vision there is. It's the raw material your eyes use to build rhodopsin, the exact pigment we keep coming back to, the one responsible for seeing in low light. A genuine vitamin A deficiency is, worldwide, one of the leading causes of preventable blindness. Most people in this country aren't deficient, sure, but plenty of older adults run lower than ideal, especially if their appetite has dropped off and they're eating less variety than they used to. Watermelon is an easy, pleasant way to keep that supply topped up. One more thing worth saying plainly. A lot of people avoid watermelon because they think it's just sugar water. That's lazy thinking. Yes, it's sweet, but it has a relatively modest impact on blood sugar in normal portions because it's mostly water and fiber-light volume, not concentrated sugar like juice or candy. The point isn't to eat half a watermelon at midnight. 1 to 2 cups is the dose. Stay in that range and you get the lycopene, the citrulline, and the hydration without the downside. Portion control isn't glamorous, but it's the difference between a fruit helping your eyes and a fruit feeding the very glycation we're trying to stop. Number 5. Black currants coming in at number 5. Here's one most Americans have honestly never put in their cart. Black currants. Tiny, dark purple, dead easy to overlook. But when it comes to protecting your eyes in low light, these little berries are quietly remarkable. Here's the exact problem they go after. Microinflammation in the retina and reduced blood flow to the optic nerve. Over time, that slow-burning inflammation blurs your vision, throws halos around headlights at night, and grinds your eyes down in dim conditions. A stronger glasses prescription does nothing for any of that. Nothing. What makes black currants so effective is their off-the-charts anthocyanin content. Anthocyanins are the deep pigments that give the berries their color. And in the eye, they pull off several jobs at once. They cool inflammation, they help blood vessels open up, and they help restore rhodopsin, the visual pigment that lets your eyes adjust from bright light to darkness. The clinical research here is genuinely strong. A randomized, placebo-controlled trial in glaucoma patients found that 50 milligrams of black currant anthocyanins a day over 24 months meaningfully improved blood flow to the optic nerve head and the retina, and actually slowed the progression of visual field loss compared to placebo. That's not a footnote. That's a real result over 2 years. A separate pilot study in patients with normal tension glaucoma found that black currant anthocyanins boosted retinal blood flow without raising eye pressure and helped normalize a compound involved in squeezing blood vessels shut. That points to real neuroprotective potential, even in people without a diagnosed eye disease. There's also growing evidence that these anthocyanins improve dark adaptation, how fast your eyes adjust going from a bright room to a dim one. For anyone who struggles driving at night or fumbles walking between rooms with different lighting, that's directly useful. How do you use them? Fresh black currants are tough to find in most American stores. Look for a standardized black currant anthocyanin extract, around 50 milligrams daily, taken in the evening alongside your other fruits. For better absorption, pair it with a little healthy fat, a few walnuts, or a vitamin C source like a slice of orange. The synergy here is real, not marketing fluff. Let me tack on something the list missed. Black currants are also one of the richest natural sources of vitamin C, period, several times more than an orange by weight. And that matters because the antioxidant defenses in your eye don't work in isolation. Vitamin C recharges vitamin E. Vitamin E protects the cell membranes, and the anthocyanins handle the inflammation. It's a team. Black currants bring more than one player to the field. All right, quick pause. If you've made it this far and something's clicking, do me a favor and hit that like button. Drop a comment telling me which of these fruits you've never even tried, and subscribe so you don't miss the rest. It genuinely helps the channel reach more people who need this. Now back to it. Number 4. Blueberries. Number 4 is one you almost certainly already have at home. Blueberries, but here's the kicker. Most people eat them in a way that cancels out a big chunk of their eye benefits. We'll fix that. What do blueberries target? Oxidative damage in your photoreceptors, the specialized cells in your retina that let you focus, pick out fine detail, and adjust to changing light. Years of UV exposure stack up. Your natural antioxidant defenses thin out. And slowly you find yourself squinting at text, struggling in dim rooms, and asking why everything's blurry even with your glasses on. The standout compound in blueberries is pterostilbene, which is chemically related to resveratrol but far more bioavailable, meaning your body can actually use it. Research suggests it can cross the blood-retinal barrier and act directly on retina damage in light-sensitive cells. That's a big deal, because most dietary antioxidants never even reach the tissue that needs them. They get broken down long before they arrive. A 2023 study in nutritional neuroscience found that older adults who ate wild blueberries daily for 12 weeks showed clear improvements in visual acuity and reported noticeably less eye strain when looking at screens in low light. But here's the critical part. Not all blueberries are equal. Those big, shiny, cultivated ones in the produce aisle have measurably lower antioxidant density. The wild blueberries, the small dark ones you'll usually find in the frozen section, carry nearly double the active compounds. And frozen works just as well as fresh. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. How do you use them right? About 1/3 of a cup of wild blueberries, roughly 45 minutes before bed. And here's the pro tip people get wrong constantly. Don't eat them with dairy. The proteins in milk bind to the anthocyanins and physically block your gut from absorbing them. So that healthy blueberry yogurt, you're throwing away the best part. Instead, freeze the blueberries and let them thaw before eating. That freeze-thaw cycle breaks down the cell walls and dramatically boosts how much your body can actually absorb, so your eyes can use it during overnight repair. One more point worth adding. Blueberries also support the small blood vessels throughout your body, not just your eyes. There's a reason British Wee pilots reportedly leaned on bilberries, a close cousin, for night vision. The folklore got ahead of the science, sure, but the underlying mechanism, supporting capillary health and rhodopsin, is real. Healthy capillaries everywhere mean a healthier retina too. And here's something the original completely ignored. Blueberries are one of the better fruits for fighting inflammation in the brain, not just the eye, and that matters because your eye is, anatomically speaking, an extension of your brain. The optic nerve is literally brain tissue. So when research shows blueberries supporting cognitive function and slowing age-related mental decline, it's not a separate story from your eyes. It's the same nervous tissue, the same antioxidants, the same protective process. You're feeding the whole system. People treat the eye like it's some isolated camera bolted onto your face. It isn't. It's wired straight into your brain, and what helps one tends to help the other. Let me give you a blunt practical tip too. If wild blueberries are too expensive or hard to find where you live, frozen wild blueberries are usually cheaper than the fresh cultivated ones, and, as I said, just as potent. Buy a big bag, keep it in the freezer, and pull out a small handful before bed. There's no excuse of cost here. This isn't some imported superfood that runs you $20 a tin. It's a freezer staple. The people who tell you eating well is too expensive usually haven't looked at the frozen aisle. Number 3. Dragon fruit at number 3. And this one surprises almost everyone. We've got dragon fruit. Exotic, dramatic, bright red inside, and research suggests it may be one of the most effective fruits for getting oxygen to your eyes while you sleep. If you regularly wake up with tired, heavy eyes even after a full night, pay close attention. You've seen it. Pink and spiky on the outside, wild looking inside. But the variety matters enormously. You want the deep red flesh. The white kind doesn't have what we're after. Don't grab the wrong one. The exact problem dragon fruit addresses is retinal hypoxia, when your retinal tissue isn't getting enough oxygen during sleep. When that happens, you can log a full 8 hours and still wake up with heavy, fatigued eyes. Your peripheral vision starts to smear. Colors look flatter than they used to. And left alone over years, that damage adds up. What's inside? Red dragon fruit is rich in betalains, a class of antioxidants that research shows can support nitric oxide production in your blood vessels. Nitric oxide is the molecule that relaxes and widens your capillaries, including the tiny ones feeding your retina. Wider capillaries mean more oxygen and more nutrients reaching that tissue during deep sleep. A 2022 study in Frontiers in Aging Biology reported that people who took red dragon fruit extract for 6 weeks showed meaningful gains in ocular circulation, contrast sensitivity, and visual field depth. In plain terms, they could see more clearly in low light and notice less blurry vision. How do you use it? Half a red flesh dragon fruit about an hour before bed. And here's the pro tip nearly everyone misses. Don't swallow the black seeds whole. Chew them. Those seeds carry omega-3 fatty acids and magnesium, both of which play documented roles in retinal nerve health and repair. Swallow them whole, and you flush almost all of that benefit straight through. Let me add something. Dragon fruit is also a prebiotic. It feeds the good bacteria in your gut. And there's a growing body of research connecting gut health to inflammation levels throughout the body, including the eye. A calmer gut means lower systemic inflammation, and lower inflammation is good news for that microinflammation we talked about damaging the retina. It's all connected, more than people give it credit for. Here's a second point. Red dragon fruit is also loaded with iron and vitamin C together in the same bite, and that combination matters. Your blood needs iron to carry oxygen, and your eyes, as we've hammered home, are desperate for oxygen overnight. A lot of older adults, especially women and anyone with a limited diet, run low on iron without realizing it. And low iron means less oxygen carrying capacity in the blood reaching your retina. The vitamin C in the same fruit dramatically improves how much of that iron your body absorbs. So dragon fruit isn't just widening the pipes with nitric oxide, it's also improving the quality of what's flowing through them. Better pipes, better fuel. That's a rare combination in a single fruit. And I'll be blunt about the cost objection here, because dragon fruit is the one people push back on. Yes, it's pricier than blueberries or papaya. You don't need it every night. Rotate it in once or twice a week when you can find it on sale, and lean on the cheaper fruits the rest of the time. The list isn't a shopping mandate where you buy all 7 every week. It's a menu. Pick what fits your budget and your area, rotate them, and keep going. Consistency beats perfection every time. Number 2. Goji berries. Number 2 has thousands of years of history behind it. Goji berries. Bright red, a little sweet, used in traditional Chinese medicine for over 2 millennia specifically for the eyes. And now, the clinical evidence is starting to catch up to the tradition. Here's the exact problem they target: macular thinning. The macula is the center of your retina, responsible for the sharp, detailed vision you use to read, recognize faces, and see color clearly. As you age, oxidative stress and poor circulation slowly degrade that tissue. That's the foundation of age-related macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of irreversible vision loss in older adults anywhere on Earth. What makes goji berries exceptional is their zeaxanthin content. They're among the highest natural dietary sources of zeaxanthin on the planet. And here's the key distinction. While lutein mostly protects the outer retina, zeaxanthin concentrates specifically in the macula, your center of vision. That targeted protection is exactly what you want. The research is compelling. A 2021 study in Nutrients followed adults aged 60 to 80 who ate dried goji berries 5 days a week for 90 days. The results showed a significant rise in macular pigment optical density, a direct measure of how protected the macula is, and not a single participant showed further progression of macular degeneration during the trial. If you're worried about losing your visual independence, that finding deserves your full attention. How do you use them? Soak 2 tablespoons of dried goji berries in warm water for about 10 minutes, then eat them roughly 30 minutes before bed. Soaking softens them and makes them easier to digest, which matters more as your digestion ages. And here's a pro tip with real science behind it. Pair your goji berries with a small square of high-quality dark chocolate, at least 85% cacao. The flavonoids in cocoa have been shown to improve zeaxanthin absorption. Together, they create a synergy your macula can actually put to use. Plus, let's be honest, it's a far better bedtime habit than most. A point worth adding, goji berries also contain a unique group of compounds called Lycium barbarum polysaccharides, which animal research has linked to protecting retinal ganglion cells, the nerve cells that carry visual signals to your brain. Once those cells die, they don't come back. Anything that helps keep them alive is worth knowing about. And here's another reason goji berries earn their place near the top. They have one of the highest antioxidant ratings, what researchers call ORAC value, of any common fruit. That's not a gimmick. A high antioxidant load means more capacity to neutralize the free radicals that pile up in your retina every single day, from light exposure, normal metabolism, and the simple act of aging. Your eyes take more oxidative punishment per square inch than almost any other tissue in your body, because they're processing light all day long. And light is energy, and energy creates damage. Goji berries help mop that up. Think of them as cleanup crew for the wreckage your eyes generate just by doing their job. One honest caution though, because I'd rather be straight with you. Goji berries can interact with certain blood-thinning medications, like warfarin. If you're on a blood thinner, talk to your doctor before making goji a daily habit. This is exactly the kind of thing people skip over, and then they're surprised when something goes sideways. Natural doesn't mean harmless. It means natural. Respect the interactions. Quick break again, and I'll keep it short. If this is useful, smash that like button, leave a comment with where you're watching from, and subscribe. Share it with someone over 60 who needs to hear it. That's how this reaches the people it's meant for. Okay, the number one fruit is next, and it's the one I most want you to remember. Number 1, papaya, and finally, number 1. The fruit that tops this whole list for your eyes is papaya. It's not exotic, it's not expensive. You might have one sitting on your counter right now. But when you eat it correctly, it goes after one of the most destructive and most overlooked processes behind blurry vision, cloudy lenses, and early cataracts. Here's the specific enemy papaya targets: glycation. That's the process where excess blood sugar latches onto proteins in your eye tissue, forming advanced glycation end products, compounds that progressively cloud your lens and wear down your retina. Glycation is one of the most underappreciated drivers of age-related vision decline, and it's happening silently, around the clock, in most people over 60, especially if your blood sugar runs even slightly high. Papaya is rich in papain, a natural enzyme with documented anti-inflammatory and protein-modifying properties. It also delivers a strong combination of vitamins A, C, and E, along with folate. Nutrients research consistently ties to a stable tear film, retinal protection, and lower oxidative stress inside the eye. A 2023 study in clinical gerontology found that older adults who ate papaya in the evening showed lower glycation markers on follow-up testing, along with stronger tear production and measurable improvement in contrast vision within 6 weeks. For anyone dealing with dry eyes, morning blur, or early cataracts, those are meaningful outcomes. How do you use it? 1 cup of ripe papaya cubes about an hour before bed. 2 things matter here: fresh beats processed, and room temperature beats cold. Pull your papaya out of the fridge at least 30 to 60 minutes before you eat it. Cold temperatures suppress enzyme activity, and you want the papaya at full strength when it reaches your gut. And don't pair it with dairy, for the same absorption-blocking reason we covered with blueberries. Pro tip: squeeze fresh lime juice over your papaya before eating. The vitamin C in the lime meaningfully boosts your body's absorption of vitamin A. Your eyes get more of what they need, and frankly, it tastes a lot better too. Here's a bonus point. Papaya's folate content does more than people assume. Folate helps keep homocysteine levels in check, and elevated homocysteine has been linked in research to a higher risk of macular degeneration and even retinal vein occlusion. So papaya isn't just fighting glycation on the front end, it's quietly supporting the vascular health of your eyes on another front entirely. It's pulling double duty. The 5 rules that make or break all of this now. Before we wrap, there are 5 rules you absolutely need to hear. Because without these, you could eat every single fruit on this list and still get cheated out of most of the benefit. I'm not exaggerating. Rule 1. Don't combine them with high calcium foods. If you eat your papaya or blueberries right after milk, yogurt, or a calcium-fortified cereal, you're actively blocking your body from absorbing lutein and zeaxanthin. Research has shown high calcium meals eaten alongside antioxidant-rich fruits can cut absorption of key eye nutrients by up to 30%. Give yourself at least 90 minutes between dairy and your fruit. Treat your evening fruit as its own standalone snack, not a sidekick to a bigger meal. Rule 2. Always add a little healthy fat. Most of the key nutrients in these fruits are fat-soluble. Without fat present, your body simply can't fully absorb them. A few walnuts, a teaspoon of flaxseed oil, a few slices of avocado. Published research suggests that can boost absorption by more than 50%. Same fruit, dramatically more of it actually reaching your eyes. Skip the fat, and you're leaving most of the benefit on the table. Rule 3. Wash gently. This one surprises people. Aggressive scrubbing under hard running water strips off a real portion of the surface antioxidants, especially on blueberries and black currants, where the protective compounds live in and near the skin. Rinse gently under cool water, pat dry, and wash right before eating, not hours ahead of time. Rule 4. Room temperature over cold. Refrigeration suppresses the enzyme activity in several of these fruits, papaya, and its papain most of all. Below a certain temperature, those enzymes basically clock out. Pull your fruit out 30 to 60 minutes before eating and let it warm up so your body can pull maximum benefit from it. Rule 5. Timing is everything. Eat your fruit 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Too early and the nutrients get metabolized and cleared before your eyes enter their main repair window. Too late and active digestion wrecks the deep sleep your eyes need to do the work. Hit that window and you give these compounds their best possible shot. Let me add a sixth that didn't make the original list but should have. Cut the sugar before bed. If you're eating these fruits but chasing them with sugary snacks, soda, or dessert, you're feeding the exact glycation process papaya is trying to fight. High blood sugar at night is one of the worst things you can do to your retina. So don't sabotage yourself an hour after doing everything right. The fruit can only do so much if you're pouring fuel on the fire right behind it. And a seventh, because it matters, stay consistent. None of this works as a one-night experiment. You don't eat 2 kiwis once and wake up with eagle eyes. Every study I mentioned ran for weeks or months. 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 90 days, 2 years. The eye repairs slowly, night after night. So pick a couple of these fruits, rotate them, and stick with it. The people who get results are the ones who treat it like a habit, not a hack.